me out of this mess, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
I'm sorry! No! No! Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! This is where they die! And these shield boys give them nothing, but take from them everything!
You see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
Before we begin, I just have to ask the panel, are you ready to make fun of unhinged progressives today?
Am I ready to?
Yeah.
Are you making fun of them?
Yeah. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being back on another episode of Rogue Entertainment. No prologue today. You're here. You're hanging out. Thank you so much. This is a channel dedicated to narcissistic abuse awareness, and that's why we talk about politicians and people in the media and singers and actors who, for the first time, I have to say, the actors that promised they were going to leave the country if Trump got elected. I think they might be serious because Vance said when he gets in office, he can't wait to release the Epstein client list. So I'm looking forward to seeing how many celebrities just vamoose out the country all of a sudden. They actually keep their word.
Yeah. Epstein client list and the Diddy list.
And the Diddy list. Yeah, it's all these diddlers and all these fake asses that have been telling us, these privileged millionaires that have been telling us for how long, who we should vote for, how we should think, why we should be ashamed of ourselves, while they're either complicit in hiding a system that traffics kids and has tons of sexual abuses. This is the moral majority, guys. They're the moral majority. So I'm looking forward to that moral majority being ousted for who they are. That's what I'm looking forward to. Before we begin, I want to say thank you to an old friend for coming and joining the panel tonight. Our guest tonight, Horney Alf. What is up, brother?
What's up, man? Yeah, happy to be here. It has been a hot minute since I've been on your channel, but glad to be here. Make fun of make fun of some ridiculous people online.
Oh, we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna laugh because you knew the meltdowns were gonna happen, Alf. Yeah. We saw it before in 2016. This time it's so much sweeter. And how has it been for you? Oh, by the way, congratulations on your channel monetization, brother. Congratulations on that, dude.
Coincidence too. I got monetized the same day that Trump announced or got elected. So
all kinds of wins.
I'll always remember that.
All types of wins. So I just want to go around the horn. Oh, Tony, where'd you go? Okay, Tony, be back. His device is disconnected. Before I want to go around the horn and say hi to everybody, Ryan Roger Athy, who spends his pregame show here before heading over to Hypno's awesome channel. How you doing, brother?
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's great to see you all watching today. The orange dawn has risen, and hopefully it's the foundation for hashtag MAGA forever. Spread it around, folks, because if it keeps going like this, you're going to get so sick and tired of winning when you see a tanned man walk on the red planet. The orange man on the red planet, folks. That's going to be something. But it's great to be here. Hopefully we'll have a fantastic show, and hopefully recent events will inspire positive action moving forward to ensure MAGA forever everywhere. So
well said, Ryan. Also with us for the first time in weeks, because she's been working so hard, and she actually had time to join us tonight. We're very happy to have the mama of Rogue here with us. What's up, Bad Take Bojan? How you doing, sweetie?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back. It's been a little crazy. We're getting into busy season at work, so things will be touch and go until after the new year. But got to take a break every once in a while, because even though you got to keep that money coming in, you also need to keep yourself sane. So happy to be here.
You're going to get a promotion in 4 years, Tina. I told Dragon Slayer this. You're going to get a promotion. Everyone who is working hard for the next 4 years, you're going to get promoted. And save up, folks, just in case. You never know.
No, I'm hoping for no promotions. My boss, she's a little bit older than me, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to manage people. I don't want to be responsible for people. I will teach and train and mentor anyone you throw my way, but I don't want to be responsible for their behavior. Just
no responsibility. Tina, that is so responsible of you. Just no accountability, Tina. That's what we're going to call you from now on.
You should join the Democrat Party, Tina.
I can still produce quality work and not manage other people. I don't want to be part of that business.
And the man of the earth, the farmer who tills the soil, and then shows us his pink package. DJ Odyssey's with us tonight. What's up, man?
That's right. I've been unburdened by what has been. I can only hope now that Kamala will go back to doing what she did best to get her into politics, and she can get a job over on the Hub. though I'm not going to watch it. No, I don't want to see any of those videos. But she can go do something over there that she might actually be good at, because she was not good at any other goddamn thing, because she's mental.
That I see he stopped himself short. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate that.
And with us, get your channel taken down.
And with us dude, I'm doing pro-Trump stuff. I'm already getting shadow banned. And with us is the great, the wonderful man, very talented man. Great shows, guys. Please check out his channel, Stark of Iron. What's up, dude?
Oh, I'm on. Oh, well. Yeah. Hey, guys. Just woke up and had my 3 S's. And for those of you that don't know what those are, well, then you might be tuning into the wrong show. But happy to be here. And Kat says hello as well. And yes, they follow me in there.
That sounds like a happy pussy. And that's a good thing to have in your house.
Yeah, but now I have to deal with 2 Alfs. I have the one that lives with me that I got from Area 51 because, I own it. And now we got one that's very styling and profiling up there in the corner. First time I've been on a panel with him. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I got the Trump hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alf is styling. It's Trump Alf today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it looks good on you. That's a good hairpiece.
I made that.
It's Don Alf Trump.
I made that as my different avatar for Halloween, and with the election happening, I just kept it rolling.
I think it's.
Well, I'll just say, Stephen, before you continue, folks, we all know Alf would be a Democrat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eating squirrels, eating raccoons. Yeah, definitely.
I don't
put
know,
on
though.
that camel toe wig.
Alf likes to grab him by the pussy, so.
Don't make me. I'll wake Alf up. He's still asleep. I'll wake him up. He's got to be on the council later. So.
Yeah, I seen Alf last night eating a cat.
The reactions, though, folks, are absolutely unhinged. Mostly from women, but obviously a few homosexual men who as well. And it just goes to show that the opposition are showcasing themselves, and they will not listen, they will not learn, which is a fantastic opportunity, especially if things can get done over the next 2 to 4 years. And that's why I want to spread the idea of MAGA forever, because if we get this right, folks, and if we work hard for the next 2 to 4 years, then you could see MAGA Republicans in power for potentially a generation meaning 20 years. So, yeah, Trump advance. Haha.
Well, here's what I like to say. CAGA, which is Keep America Great Always.
Yes. Yeah, brother. So we may Sno Dub is going to try and stop in at some point, guys. So hopefully the jolly man himself could be here. And real quick, I asked ETEP again if he could show up. He wasn't able to come back last week, but he's out with the little man tonight. And congratulations to Pete, because he's going to be wrestling again. And he's getting back in the ring this week. Yeah, dude, he's getting back in the ring this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know if it'll probably be a local showing. He does those, but I'm hoping we get some video of that, because that man, one of the best presenters, entertainers that I've ever worked with on YouTube has been Etep Okoyan. So I can only imagine what he's going to be like in the ring. I'm looking forward to that. Before we begin, we're talking about mentally unhinged people today, and for years. Listen, guys, I voted for Democrats every year. I support the Democratic Party most of my life. And then, I've said this before, as somebody already know, 2016 happened. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I voted for Clinton. And I watched that first year unfold, and this man get attacked, gaslit, just the blame shifting, the projection, the smear campaigns against this guy. And I realized if the entire system is against him, something's wrong. And in the subsequent years, I've watched these unhinged people go on rants, go on complete nonsense gobbledygook, don't know what my gender or pronoun is, rants. And it's like the mental destabilization of the public arena. And a lot of this comes from the left. Now, y'all know I believe in the uniparty. I think that the purse strings are all getting pulled by the same people. But when it comes to those that are promoting just straight up mental illnesses, gender confusion, narcissism, all of these things. It's coming from the left, and it has been for a long time. It's the propagation of mental illnesses. So we're gonna showcase somebody, a few people that are having meltdowns. But this first video of someone having a meltdown, and then we're gonna do the funny ones after this. But this is hilarious. You guys decide. You let me know in the chat what you think and on the panel. So without further ado, a lot of these are brought to you by Sno Dub's Twitter. He just went, and ETEP's too, but Sno Dub's been going after him for the last couple of days. So credit to him for all these.
Let me guess. Black woman.
No. It's a very portly older white lady.
Black shoed woman.
So
there we go.
A Karen.
Flip that.
Oh God,
the other one.
A hot.
All right, you ready?
This whole country is mentally ill. This whole country is mentally fucking
That's called
projection.
ill.
It's gonna be better than ever.
Yeah, because you're a racist piece of shit and you can't wait.
Can't wait.
That's called projection. It's crazy.
You know what? When your social security is gone, you ugly piece of shit, you'll
That's called gaslighting and devaluation.
be the last one fucking laughing, not the rest of us.
Insert walrus noise here.
Oh my God, I know you can barely read. And you probably got a 6th grade level of education, you piece of shit.
You probably a 6th grade level of education. Listen to the way she's talking and bugging out the emotional deregulation. Projection.
You know, there's a term, hood rat, but in this instance, it's the whole.
I gotta say, I remember that Family Guy episode when Rush Limbaugh, voiced actually by Rush Limbaugh, radicalized Brian Griffin. The whole dream of Republican town. And if someone came up to a Republican man, suit and tie, like Mitt Romney style rhino. If someone came up to a Republican of back then with a mouthy attitude, like a crook or a crim, they'd be shot. Man shoots him, the woman shoots him. I think even the kid, the little child, shoots him as well in that whole skit. And unfortunately, folks, that kind of radicalism can only be put down in one way, because after a generation of MAGA victories, which I think will happen if things get done, positive things get done over the next 2 to 4 years, the radicals will take over the demon rat party. That's what I like to call them, because they are demon rats. And in response to too much losing, they will become more radical, more violent, and they will start to kick things off. And that's why I think it's very important for people to not underestimate this kind of radical extremism, and to be ready when it becomes rabid in the years, and I think decades to come, because Trump said there's the idea of too much winning. You're going to get sick and tired of winning, which I didn't understand at the time. I do now, though. But there is such a thing as too much losing, and I know what too much losing can do to a person or a group of people. So watch out, folks. 70 million people can cause a lot of fucking damage.
And let me add something here. So I can guarantee the commonality between all these videos we're about to watch is these are all people that are ruled by their emotions. These are people that the demon rats, as you call them, have been courting for years and feeding on those emotions by feeding them with fear and fear tactics. And it's fed into this mental illness of people run completely by their emotions, people that have no logic, can't think for themselves. So
well, that's what you do when you gaslight. You play into somebody. Like when you're trying to lie or smear another group or person, you play into the emotional reactivity of that person. You play into their fears, or you project things that will tick that person off or turn them off. And that's just what they've been doing for years. That the media does this. That's why I don't watch the mainstream media. When I talk to family members that are coming at me about this topic, about being a Trump supporter, I'm like, so you watch too much mainstream, don't you? Like you get your news from CNN and NBC.
I'll say this election is proof that the mainstream media does not have the sway they used to. When you get more people getting their information from podcasters and such, and from Twitter, that's why the media just no one takes him seriously except for
Well,
the last few drones that still watch him.
Well, the one thing I did learn from the mainstream media, one particular site, courtesy of Morning Joe, that fucker with his blonde puppet. One observation he made that I thought was very interesting, that he hasn't seen a landslide like this since Reagan's 49 state sweep in 84, which got me thinking. Reagan also had the opportunity that Trump has now, but he threw it all away with that amnesty that he gave to illegals, which turned California, the state he was governor of, fully blue. If he hadn't have done that, I dare say the Rhino bastards would have ruled the 90s, because they took over after Reagan, of course, with Bush. And they still have their hooks in the Republican Party to this day. So one thing Trump should not do that Reagan did is offer any kind of amnesty, because if he does, the MAGA movement will die, and the demon rats will never lose an election ever again. And they won't have to rig it. They won't have to rig it in any way, shape, or form, especially if those amnesties happen in certain swing states. So learn from history, folks. All I'm saying.
I'm just glad Trump got the popular vote. So now for the next 4 years, I don't have to hear them bitching and complaining, about the Electoral College.
Well, hold up. There's still a lot of votes being counted.
Yeah.
And that margin keeps shrinking.
Oh, yeah. California, 15 million people voted Democrat out of fucking nowhere.
I think they're slow rolling a lot of this to make sure Kamala gets the popular vote, even if it is only 100,000 or so. They're trying to do that.
It will be interesting though, because if you notice, I can't remember the networks. Obviously, none of the progressive networks, but they were reporting that 20 million less people voted between 2020 and 2024, and Biden won by 18.5 million votes. So you tell me how is this not proof that the 2020 election was rigged?
Oh, that's just from the necropolis,
Hey, that reminds me of that scene in Lord of the Rings when Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas get off the boat with their ghost army. That was Joe Biden in 2020. He got off the boat, had his ghost army, just destroyed Trump's forces, and then Biden was like, "Well, thank you for your service. We don't need you anymore." Then he retired. Camel Toe was up for the final battle, and Trump, with his massive eye tower, just swamps the forces with the host of Mordor to twist the usual Lord of the Rings narrative, because usually it's used a lot as a thing, but the other way around.
Going back to what Horney Alf was talking about with emotionally deregulation.
I wanted to do a joke, but okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, the ballots are shut. It is built and rigged by those who are dead, and the dead keep it.
Daga sent you a link. Tina sent you a link if you want to join us. He says, make asylums real again. This has been an issue since the deinstitutionalization of the 1970s. The less and less care for the mentally ill, or people who can be helped or need lifetime professional help. And what we have seen is the certain elements, the left, really feed into mental illness, really get people emotionally deregulated, tell them that your feelings are valid. You blaming someone else because you can't control your shit is totally valid. And we see the rise in many different dysfunctional personality types or disorders in this country since then. That is the power base of the left. And that's what we're going to show tonight. He also says, when someone goes too far right brain, they lose a lot of their ability to survive on their own. Fear sets in when self-reliance becomes a real need for them, and that is it. You've got these communists who say, "We'll take care of you. Just give us your rights. We'll take care of all your needs, and you can be as emotionally deregulated as you want to be. But make sure to blame these people over here. Make sure to blame the neuronormative people." healthy people, or even people like we all got damages in what we go through, but it's those of us that work through those things that really gives us a strength of character. We all have fears. We all have something we've been through in life. The true deregulation comes from groups like the Rainbow Mafia, who do not support gay rights. I don't care what you tell me. They're not about gay rights. Gay rights was won back in the 2000s with civil unions. That's been done with. It was creating a new enemy and then supporting people who have dysphorias. Same thing with BLM. You're not fighting racism with that. That's a racist institution. You're promoting militant racism with that. Antifa, anti-fascist. They're fascist. All of their tactics are fascist. It's all about pointing the finger at the enemy and blaming them of what you actually are doing, as to create confusion, gaslighting, blame shifting, and destroying others, destroying the target of your smears by blaming them for what you're doing. And that's what we've seen the Democrats do for a very long time now. Tina, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
There you go. Yeah, it's a living.
Well, from my perspective, one thing that we should learn from this whole situation is that things are constantly shifting, and they will constantly shift as the establishment, whether it's political or entertainment related, loses control of the situation. Because we've entered a point, and I think this has been a point for the last 8 to 10 years, in that the establishment is too weak to dominate, but the alternatives to it are not strong enough to dominate the establishment. We're in that point. And I honestly think that's the best situation to be in, mainly because of the fact that if we overwhelmed the existing system, we'd have to build a new system, a new establishment to maintain total power. And the problem is that can easily corrupt a group of people. I don't care how massive the group of people is. I mean, there is a saying, it's a big club and you ain't in it. But I think a weak establishment with an okay civil society and very strong population is the way to go. You can have your power, you can have your institutional power, but it's nothing without civil society. That's businesses, and from that power comes from people. I think that's the best way to move forward, especially for the United States of America, which is a freedom and people-motivated nation state, union, as it were. We the people, it's literally there, right there. First 3 words of your existing system. And I think that's very important personally, but we also have to understand, folks, not everyone agrees with that mindset. And that's why you're seeing all these different reactions. Why? Because certain people from certain lands have to be ruled. It's all they've ever known, especially in poorer parts of the world where at their civilizational peak in their history, it was through strong rule, strong leadership, telling you what to do and you getting it done. Because if you give we the people to those people in those lands, they will tear each other to pieces. The Liberia Project is a fantastic example of that, when America tried its best to spread the ideas of the founders to Africa through Liberia, and the legacy of that was that they were eating each other.
Get this guy a pair of Loki horns.
I actually have a pair.
So this is a video from a supposed mental health professional, and we're going to listen to what she says. Yeah,
the nose piercing is always a dead giveaway.
You think? You think? It does seem to be a commonality, Al.
My name is Charlie. I'm a licensed social worker and therapist.
I'm sorry.
This is a safe place.
No, it isn't.
If you need to hear it right now, hear it from a therapist. It's okay if you're devastated, if you can't stop crying, if you're scared, if you're angry. All of those things are valid. You are not overreacting. You're not being dramatic. And anyone telling you that you are is privileged.
Anyone telling you that being emotionally deregulated is privileged, guys.
This sounds like your ex-girlfriend, Stephen. I'll let you decide which one.
Which one? I was going to say which one.
In all seriousness, though, this is the face of the opposition. Is there a space between that therapist you want to tell us about, folks? Because put a space in there, and that literally describes our our opposition. But you can tell, we all could tell the moment we saw this archetype that it's infected by the woke mind virus, because not just because of the look, but also the attire, the way it's so anti-natural, anti-nature, and the fact that it goes against biological reality. And you can see that, you can judge that with your natural instincts.
Nice.
And if we can do that for one person, we can do it for all of our opposition, which I think is absolutely essential.
Tina's killing me in the chat.
Don't say it, woman. Don't type it behind the scenes. Say it, for God's sake.
Can't say it out loud, so it's only in the chat. Sorry.
Well, don't tempt me by showing it to me then.
Okay.
What's up, MC Mike does? You know, you're right, bro. They all have the same look, the same air, the same aura, like the same. I call it the demon spirit when I'm talking on like Instagram and TikTok about narcissistic personality disorder. You can it's an air of arrogance and know-it-allness and just smugness, and then they're full of shit. You can that's a person that's full. They know they're full of shit, and they convince themselves they're not full of shit. And that's what that woman gives. This woman gives me that. Let's continue on this, because I think it's important to understand that there is and there has been a network built into our system, our social spheres, to sustain, to adulate, to comfort anyone who's like completely wacko. It's fucking nuts.
If you're in my followers, it is because very likely you belong in my community.
Bullshit.
Whichever one that might be.
Okay.
You're welcome here. You're safe here.
Whichever community that may be.
What, do you have like a black subgroup and like a gay subgroup? It's always about organization and categorization with our opposition. The greatest strength
with people.
The greatest strength of our opposition has always been organizational capability, because they're collectivists. That's to make up for the fact that they don't have individual rights or responsibilities. It is their greatest asset, and to give them credit where they shouldn't deserve any. Organized societies do incredibly well. In fact, several throughout history have challenged the supremacy of the United States. Yes, all of them have lost, mainly because their administrative capacities couldn't take the organization. So all they need is proper administration, and AI technology gives them that capability now. That's why China is such a big threat. But that's their ace in the hole, organization. Our ace in the hole is the freedom of the individual and unleashing the potential of the people. That's our ace. Organizational capacity? Nah, we can't fucking do it, because you guys know what libertarians are like. They want their freedom, they want their rights, but if they try to work together, you might as well just do yourself in, because it's not going to work.
I'm looking at you, Eric July. I'm looking at you, bro. Craig says they have been gaslit by the fake news for 8 years. No doubt, many of them have PTSD. Yes, they have been gaslit. Absolutely. And told who to blame, and told who the issue is, and what the problem is, and who the problem is. But it's not you. Go wave your dick in a pride parade to the kid. You're not the problem. It's not you.
Yeah.
I don't. It's fucking insane to me. I don't. Ugh.
We are your family.
No, you're not.
Stop doom scrolling. Get off the phone. Go take a shower. Brush your teeth.
You don't.
What kind of shower, eh?
I can agree. They do need to go take showers and brush their teeth and everything else.
I was about to say that's good advice for stinky leftist.
Yes, no doubt.
Drink some water.
Drink some water.
Watch a TV show that is not related to politics at all. Take some deep breaths.
How are you going to watch a TV show that's not related to politics at all when everything that TV and movies have been doing is throwing politics and everything?
Well, you got to go back and watch the old classics like Bewitched, stuff like that.
They hate that. I think the worst thing about it, though, folks, especially for the opposition, if we do get MAGA forever, it's not just going to be in politics. Eventually, it will penetrate entertainment. And one of the first acts President-elect Trump will be making when he becomes president again is to ensure freedom of speech is respected, not just in governmental institutions, but on all American-based social media platforms. I don't see fucking Google going to China anytime soon because they don't want to be personally infected by it. They won't go to India because they don't want to be covered in shit. They're certainly not going to Russia because Russia have fined them like $2.9 decillion. That's an insane figure, even by Russian standards. And they won't go to Europe because Europe's too fucking weak and can't pay its military bills. So it just goes to show, folks, an election can change the world. That's why it's so important to stand by your principles and to stand together, hang together, work together, because this has changed the course of human history.
First, I would like to say that, Ryan, you said the word penetrate. Penetration is very misogynistic. All right, so ease it back, buddy. Okay.
I'd rather go to Mars than listen to a female.
Alf, I have to ask you something, buddy. There's been this thing going around again because they never follow through the first time. There are very fanatical progressive white women out there that are going to refuse to have sex with men now that Trump is in office. And how is this affecting you? Is your mental state okay?
So it took Trump getting elected for these women to find morals. Is that what we're saying here?
I think so.
And to stop sleeping around? Is that
we have a winner?
It's so crazy because we all know, and Stephen is living proof of this concept, that sex addiction exists. Especially
all
with,
the Freudian slips, all the time.
Especially with progressive women. And I think a sex strike, 4B movement, whatever you want to call it, 4B, that sounds like something you go in a high school class. Well, go on.
Are you telling me that both of my exes having nose rings was a red flag that I ignored? Yes. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'm just asking. Okay.
What's worse than a red flag, a black flag? But in all seriousness, ladies and gentlemen, the point the point I was trying to make is, ladies and gentlemen, especially in the United States, it's less of a problem across the Western world, but certainly in the US, there is an industry around abortion, $1 billion industry. Likewise with your prison system, but we don't have time to delve into that. The idea of people, especially young progressive women, going on a sex strike, and if enough people did that, it would starve the abortion industry into submission. And once the financial incentive is gone, then abortion won't be a topic of the day for the US. It's not a topic of the day in the UK or in France or in Germany, arguably more left-wing than the United States. But our abortion laws are far more right-leaning because we value life.
Well, I just want to say this, that after watching these videos before the show, I now believe in pro-choice. Matter of fact, I think we should push it more. I think we're letting too many people live when we could just nip it in the bud.
Starting bid of $500, ladies and gentlemen. $500. Can we get $600? Be a bad take, Tina Bojan. Never thought you were a lesbian. $600. Anyone for $700?
You talked a good take,
Tina, for $700. My God, woman, you already bid. Sorry. Go on.
Good take Bojan has been praying for me to turn lesbian for years. It's that relationship we've got. He's like, listen, I honestly don't care who you sleep with as long as I get to watch. So.
Oh God, he's so my spirit animal. So my spirit animal, Mr. Bojan. Okay, so
we totally agree with you, Mr. Bojan.
I come back from a tab to see that thing there.
Hey, it's better than the last one.
It's an IGN 7 out of 10.
Listen, I just want to say that it has blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm down.
Walton, focus in. It has a nose ring.
I see it all.
Don't mind me. I gotta practice, so that I can be like my friend Mexican Iron Man.
Then cut off. Then cut off her massive nose.
No, listen. This one triggered me, guys. All right, I'm affected by this. These are my type. All right, I just wanted to say that it's an issue. Okay, you ready? This is devastating to me, Ryan.
Okay, like if y'all hate women that much,
pull your top up.
I hope you never get pussy ever again.
Really?
Like, don't hate us as much?
I can't.
What?
God, that's the first woman I've seen just pull a burp. Usually I do that sometimes, but I've never seen a woman do it.
Has she been drinking?
I don't know.
No.
Stark, you missed it. Okay, listen, this is very important, okay? This is very important, Stark.
Well, actually, I got duck of death. There wasn't me leaving on purpose for a bit, even though that would have been funnier. Go ahead. Let me see this crap.
All right, this is very important. Sorry, I'm beginning.
Okay, like, if y'all hate women that much, I hope you never get pussy ever again.
Morty.
Lady,
really? Did she just pull a Rick on the air? She's like, Morty.
Lady, if Camel Toe got into office, many migrant men would have had their way with you for the abortion.
She was bobbing her head, kind of reminded me of those snake charmers, you know.
King
Oh
Tut.
my God. Pull your top up, though. Seriously, it's all you're good for.
I'm a little upset, okay? Everything about this turns me on. This is my dating history here. Okay, we're going.
Like, y'all hate us as fucking much?
What's she gonna do next? Fart?
Okay, you better not come into my fucking like, oh, you just sent pics, Dodo. Yeah.
You just wait for
Pics of a gun I'm finna buy. The fuck?
She's very upset, guys. You're not getting laid.
Somebody get that bitch.
Nah. Hey. Fuck
you. Somebody get this bitch some WD-40. I've never seen such rigid arm movement in my life.
So
it's okay. I would not lay this woman anyway. She has a nose redder than Otis from freaking Mayberry.
Well, she's clearly cried her eyes out.
Has she been crying? So here's a point I got to make. A lot of these are performative. This is TikTok.
Yep, they are.
Most of these are from TikTok. So has she been crying, or did she put on makeup to make it look like she's been crying?
I understand that perspective,
spent
Al.
hours getting
For
ready.
the longest time, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Tina, but for the longest time, I believed that our opposition were performative until I realized just how ideologically possessed our opposition are, to the point where they don't see the empire of lies around them. So I don't think it's conscious if it's performative. I think it's unconscious. You talk about unconscious fucking bias. But the way our opposition operate, they think it's normal. They think it's natural to do this.
Yes. And Ryan, you're dead on. It's okay, guys. I mean, a lot of you know I switched my content from like a straight entertainment commentary to narcissistic abuse awareness recovery content, and I do it on 3 different platforms. And everything that I've learned in the last couple of years is just what Ryan said. No. For us normative people, we look at this, we go, that's got to be an act. There's no way that person's acting like that. No, there are people out there that bullshit themselves and gaslight themselves and turn themselves into this. She thinks she's being just. This is morally right. This is fighting the good fight. This is showing my deregulated emotions because you should empathize with me, and if you don't, you're a demon.
But that's method acting. That's all that is.
Well, I
will make acting. They make themselves believe it.
Well, I'll make one more statement before I shut up, because I'm starting to sound like a tangent king, and I hate those. But I always say to people in regards to don't expect an unreasonable person to think reasonably. The same applies the other way around. I mean, an unreasonable person cannot think reasonably, and a reasonable person cannot think unreasonably. Horney Alf, you're not an unreasonable person. How can you understand the mind of an unreasonable person? And we've just showcased that right here, right now. Just like when we try to appeal to these brainwashed lunatics, it's like a reasonable person appealing to an unreasonable person.
Yes.
The truth cannot destroy a narrative. Only a narrative can destroy a narrative. And that is why when we tell the truth to these fuckers, they don't respond well to it. But if we put forward a compelling narrative, which the MAGA movement has done for 8 years, it leads to people awakening themselves. That's why this unity coalition has been made possible, and that's why it takes a uniparty to do in a uniparty, and a unity coalition is a uniparty. I'm sorry, but it is. Now onto this creature.
Yes,
Hey, this one I understand. This one's from Doctor Who, and they're marking themselves every time they've seen the silence.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The cackle, not the silence. It's Kamala's cackle.
All right, let's take a look at this this Democratic supporter.
Oh.
Election denier.
She appears constipated.
That's a man.
Oh, that's a man. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a dude.
You're not being sensitive, Tina.
That's just misgendered him, bigot. Oh,
I am so glad I retired from teaching at the university a couple of years ago.
Oh, you'd be cancelled if you were still teaching at the university. Excuse me, ma'am.
So.
It's sir. Cancelled. Good God.
Flames keep going.
His party, and he cries if he wants to. Cries.
Alf, I'll bring that up soon.
I actually have 2 links in there. The first one I put down was a meme, and then the second one's a video from CNN.
Okay, take a look at those. What do you guys think? Now, let me ask you something, honestly. All right, now let's everyone just ground ourselves. All right, let's be centered. What do you think is the mental state of the person we just witnessed? Like, do they need a hug? Should we take them seriously?
Kick in the ass.
I've seen ISIS soldiers more moderate than this.
They need a straitjacket.
Oh,
this guy is suffering Vogon poetry.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Vogon poetry, damn it.
I don't know. Look at the results here.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Oh, let's see. It's Horney Alf. All right. So we're going to take a look at Today on the View. That seems legit. I don't know. That seems accurate.
Yeah, this has been the View all week. They are still.
Well, no. Friday they took to attacking each other that they went so bad.
Yeah, they are still coping until today, and they're going to probably for a couple weeks now. It's gonna be nothing but the election talk.
Should we take out bets on how many of them are going to be on the Diddy or Epstein lists? I'm going to say 3 out of 5.
Definitely Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, that's a good margin.
Because who would name herself with a Jewish last name unless she wanted to build connections? That's not actually a real name, folks.
No, of course not.
And all the McCains can go fuck themselves.
Yes.
All right. It's oh my God. The trauma is real out there, guys. It is absolutely real. Let's take a look at one more video. Ryan, how much longer do you got, bud?
Oh, I think we can stretch it to an hour and a half. Usually half an hour before SNH starts. I can just pop in and have a good talk. Hello, Sno Dub.
Snow.
Hey.
What's going on, dude?
I had a few minutes. Figured I'd stop in and say hi.
Well, I'm abusing I'm all over your ex right now, dude. All right, I'm slutting it up all over. You collected some of the best clips of unhinged leftists.
What is it good ones.
Yeah, what is it about you that has an eye for picking up these people? Like, how do you find them?
Well, I was born and raised in Seattle.
I'm sorry.
Tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're bringing me down.
I spot him quite easily. Yeah.
This man. The pointing down doesn't make any sense because he's not.
Sorry.
There we go. This man was a celebrity in his part of the world with a series of hit songs that did very well. Of course, he had to move from one hellhole to another. But when folks found out that Sno Dub supported the Orange Man, he faced a cancel culture campaign by a whole host of demon rats. I'd say Washington State and Arizona State have been two of the greatest examples of getting fucked by demon rats, especially Arizona, considering they're stealing it again from Carrie Lake. And it just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that our opposition are sneaky bastards, but at the very least, we get to watch them to oblivion.
Growing up in Washington State, we hiked, we camped, we fished, we hunted, we went up in the mountains and skied and snowmobiled, and it was just a bunch of, rednecks and granolas and nature happy peeps. And if you go back to the Reagan years, Washington was red. But then it got infiltrated, and it's now, believe it or not, everybody thinks San Francisco, but it is now the gay capital of the United States. There's more gays in Seattle than there is in any other city.
Does the city have the country's highest suicide rate?
I'm not sure if we still hold that one down. We might want to check on Chicago.
What's the monkeypox epidemic like there?
Well, I haven't been there in a few years, so I haven't seen the breakout. Fortunately,
Stephen, don't worry. I can say problematic terms now. You've got freedom of speech for the next 4 years. You won't be taken down. I can say tranny demon. Nothing will happen. But please carry on. Sno Dub, please.
Well, you could be talking about a really nice muscle car too.
Yeah.
Either way,
absolutely.
Right.
So
now the corruptions. Well, I was just gonna say, now the corruptions followed me to Arizona, and if you have been paying attention, we are going through it right now. There's a senator race going on with one of my favorite people, Carrie Lake. I've met her personally. Beautiful, wonderful woman, mother, homegrown, knows her shit, and is a huge, right, all the way in Trump's pocket. Like, she loves Trump and has his back on just about every policy that he comes up with, and so we really want her to represent us in this state. And if for some reason, they got her on the governor within a few thousand, and now they're trying to get her again. The guy who's beating her has more votes than Kamala Harris in Arizona. Makes sense.
Yeah, I've never understood that. I've said this quite a few times. Why would you vote red for one thing and then blue for another? That happened in North Carolina with the gubernatorial election.
The North Carolina thing is kind of easy to explain, but the Arizona one is not, because they also passed the law.
People can't be Nazis, Deej. I don't care what people
No,
say.
it's more of what he did in his personal life.
Not exist.
It's more what he did in his personal life, and I think that turned off the independence with him, and that's why he lost that. But the Arizona thing does not make any sense, because they also passed the law to allow the police and everything else to grab these illegals and get rid of them. So
we're going to take a look at some of the what you're just talking about. Some of the things that Trump's been saying about how he's going to be treating the illegal problem, and most especially the thing that I'm happy about is removing. Well, we'll talk about it later, but it's removing funding from any institution that is trying to screw your kid up and cut their balls off and convince them that they're not what they are.
Yeah, that was what Trump's 10-point plan.
Yeah,
he gave out. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I got a clip of it today. We're going to check that out. But one more.
Oh, fuck.
One more. Oh yeah, and, guys, these all come from these
bids at $500.
These all come from Sno Dub's X account. Please check out his X account.
It's funny they're basically cattle. They're just being led to the slaughter, and they've got the nose rings.
They all got these nose rings. It's crazy. It's like a conspiracy. I swear.
These are people that are victims of it. A lot of these people are just victimized by the propaganda to the point that they can't think for themselves.
Yes. And that is the problem with having, our medias, our social medias. Thank God Elon bought X, because if he didn't have that, we'd have nowhere to go for anything. If you're pro-Trump, looking for pro-Trump or anything.
Walton, you make a good point there, because if we didn't have Twitter, just him owning Twitter and allowing free flow of information, it will affect all the other social platforms. Because if the left had all of them, they would be locking everything down. But because of the influence of Twitter, they can't get away with censorship, so they have to adapt to that.
Let's
I'm
understand
Elon Musk, and I approve of Stephen Walton. Go check out his book on the Phantom Menace. It's really great. And
the one he's finished, or the one that hasn't been finished? But I was just going to say that there's a reason, and folks, we got to stop calling it Twitter because that's the old regime.
It's X.
Folks, there's a reason Elon bought what is now X, which he named after his son, his youngest son, great guy. That's because the system killed one of his children. You know, the demon, the tranny demon, the woke mind virus killed his son. He so much as said it. And in response to that, he had to talk with Jordan Peterson. Ever since, he has sought to destroy the woke mind virus. And that's the thing, folks. That was the straw that broke the camel's back in that regard. And if the opposition rather can do that to the son of a billionaire, officially the richest man in the world, but that's a bit they can do it to anyone. They can do it to everyone. They can do it to you, your children, your children's children. That's why this is a generational struggle, even with MAGA forever, folks. Even if the United States is cleansed of this disease, still the rest of the world. This ideology could easily infect China, easily infect Japan, easily affect India, because it's just weaponized weakness bottled into progressive ideology. And unfortunately, you can't kill your way out of it like most communists tried to deal with their opposition, because this is an ideological disease that will spread wherever it can get away with spreading.
Can we hurry up and watch this so I don't have to keep staring at this?
You just want to buy her.
You don't want that?
She looks like,
I mean, I already have a house chameleon, but thank you.
It looks like her O face.
All right. Well, we're gonna see. Let's see how she talks. Let's give her a chance. All right, and let's see.
Let me be very, very clear when I say
Is
this.
she high?
If you are an alternative
Yes.
person, punk, goth, however you classify yourself,
If your eyes go in two different fucking directions,
in the alternative community,
She looks like she's high.
No, you're
I want to
fucking
say
not. No, you're not.
something extremely controversial.
If you pierced your lip to make it look like you're a vampire,
there's a reason they made camps.
I can't. If I met this person in real life, I could not. I could not sit and talk to this person in real life if I met them without laughing in their face.
I would only have
based on
one
their
thing
appearance.
to say to this person. That would be, Eagle, fetch me the brain.
I want to spray her down with a can of green spray paint and call her iguana.
If Camel Toe had been elected and I said that, I would have been arrested. But in all seriousness, folks, this is a generational struggle. Many variations of our opposition have existed, and many variations of, the opposition towards this madness have existed. Some of it's been good. A lot of it has been very bloody. But I will say, this is the future if MAGA forever doesn't happen. For every single person on planet Earth, if we don't get MAGA forever. So just boom this into your mind, folks. Forever. For all of time.
Good thing Mr. Trump has a lot of sons. So we're going to have our
Yes.
pick here in a few years. And Barron, man, that guy is a monster. Have you seen him? 7 feet tall.
He's sitting, what is he like 6 foot something? 6'8"? 6'9"?
Something like that, yeah.
He's 18 years old and he's 6'9".
He's still growing.
Insane.
Men
Yes.
grow until they're like 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's smart as a whip too. So we got a good future ahead of us.
all right. We're gonna let's finish out. Let's give this woman. I don't want to misgender them. Let's give this person.
Steve.
I have never been the type of person that's like, well, if you don't listen to this music, you're not goth, you're not punk. I'm not that type of person. But if you don't have the same fucking values, the same fucking common sense when it comes to human rights, you're not alternative. Let me-
Okay. Well, to interrupt for just a moment.
Yeah.
Them will come into an office and apply for a customer service job and ask why you won't hire them.
Yes.
There's a
Count about
Rammstein.
8 reasons why in just the face.
Yeah, there's a Rammstein song that's playing in my head that describes this creature. I'll let you guys and gals decide which one.
After all this, I'm gonna have to beg for a horse video tonight.
You heard him, Snow. We're gonna have to bring out the horse.
It's $100. That's you want that clip? It's $100 commission.
Is there another client list I should be made aware of? What's this horse thing?
It's something to do with Tim Walls.
All right, so
plague on my channel is what it is.
Sno Dub and his puppets getting into some horsing around. My oh my.
You could say that all of our hands have Mr. in front of them.
Oh, is this the one I sent you?
Yeah, that's the one you sent.
Why is it not loading?
Okay. Well, I haven't turned it on yet.
Let me lead this one in. So this is a CNN panel, I think, from yesterday. The guy that you'll see that starts talking, he's more speaking from a logical standpoint. And then you'll see another panelist on this panel. Bald guy with a beard. He's a complete fucking bitch and run by his emotions. So this guy, these two guys. The guy on the left speaks from logic. The guy on the right is totally ruled by his emotions, and he has a mental breakdown on the stream, or on the panel.
Yeah.
So
Why
an
would he
example.
look like the vulture?
Exactly.
It's crazy, folks, because Scott Jennings, he has a very long and distinguished record, but he was like one of the main Rhino advisors. I mean, he even says so right there. So we're not talking about a MAGA person here. We're talking
he's
about
not
a
MAGA.
Rhino.
At least he's speaking from a point of logic, and this other guy just can't handle it.
All right, this sounds like it's going to be fun. Sounds like every fight we have on fucking Twitter or X.
All right. Let's go ahead and ring the bell then.
Dang it.
Go ahead.
If you look at the arc of the Biden presidency, he was in really good shape until August of 2021. When Afghanistan happened, he went under 40, she went under 40, and they really lived there until the end of the He's still there.
Why? I'll tell you why.
Because he ran and told us that the adults were back in charge, and that was the opposite.
Yeah, they
of
were
that.
because
and
Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
He's a
the fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families the time of
bullshit,
day.
Dude.
Time of day.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers.
All right,
Donald Trump hates veterans.
What? I am a veteran, and that has been disproven. So the guy on the right is
over and over and over.
Oh, by the way, I retired from the military this year, 20 years.
Thank you for your service.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
How many kills did you get?
Don't ask that question. Shut up, Ryan. Right. No. But Alf,
Is it one a year?
Alf, like from the perspective of a veteran, like what does Trump? Is he pro-veteran or what? How do you feel about it?
Everything I've seen, he's very pro-veteran. So I don't have a problem with it. He loves the veterans, and it's just more lies ginned up by the mainstream media, CNN. So exactly, we're looking at CNN here. So yeah, it's just more fucking lies, and he's had former generals in his staff that have come out because they were pissed about how things went down. They have started spreading more lies about him, and
it's absolutely insane. But another thing that's insane. First of all, CNN is insane. Second of all, I was going to complain about the lack of professionalism from a mainstream media outlet till I found out the guy the rhino who's debating or talking to a comedian. I mean, for fuck's sake, a comedian whose job it is to be bombastic and hopefully make people laugh, at the very least make people uncomfortable, because...
Oh, it gets worse. Yeah.
This is not professional.
Is he going to deploy his vulture wings? Please say yes.
Yes.
I understand the irony of me saying that because I'm not a professional, but I'm not a panelist for a fucking mainstream media talk show. I mean, the point is, folks, for the mainstream media, their ace in the hole is supposed to be professionalism, quality product, high budgets, solid analysis. If they could get all four of those right, the mainstream media would have a future. It doesn't even matter that they're lying bastards. As long as they convince you, they have a future. But they can't do that, and they can't do the four things I just said 20, 30 seconds ago. There's no future for these fuckers. Bleed out financially, die in a ditch, MAGA forever.
You're asking too much from the Western media, sir.
This guy's emotional breakdown gets worse, so.
All right, let's do it.
He did. He absolutely, despite, he has his whole life. He has his entire
I know you're
life.
super emotional. I just,
of course I am.
I'm terrified. I'm telling you the political.
I'm super emotional. I'm going to go home and get pegged. My wife loves me, and so does her boyfriend. Sorry.
I need to make sure that I got my club.
When they made that decision.
It doesn't matter.
When
you don't admit that Donald Trump hates veterans. You don't admit it. You deny a man, Chief John Kelly, a Marine. You deny. You say he lied.
You're still campaigning.
You say he lied. It's not over. It'll never be.
You're still campaigning.
The political reality is when they made that decision and everyone realized, oh my gosh, these aren't the competent adults that we were promised.
Donald Trump does.
And then when you pile on top of it the decisions that made inflation worse, it was a compounding interest of political crap over time that they could never get out of. And that's how she lost the race.
There was a bipartisan consensus to get out of Afghanistan. That wasn't the point. It was the way it was done.
Decision to
No, hold on. It was the implementation. It was the fact that they took out our soldiers first instead of last, which is you would think would be common sense. And again, it's like you said, we thought the adults were in the room. That's why people voted for Biden. A return to normalcy, a return to competence. He's a lifelong public figure. We thought we're going to get...
That was the narrative pushed, folks.
Right.
And that narrative was very successful. The narrative that was pushed in 2020, I know we all believe it was rigged. I stand by to this day that 20 million of Biden's Ghost Army rigged that election. But the 2020 campaign on the Demon Rat side was far more compelling than the 2024 variant. Because Joe Biden, for all of his fucking flaws, especially back then, even more so today, but also back then, had 50 years of experience to convince people with his team that we're going to get America back on track, blame the pandemic on Trump, and all that. It's all about narratives. It's not about the truth with politics. It's never been about the truth. It's about narrative versus narrative. And I never thought I'd do this, but I'm going to give credit to the political analysts on CNN, well, against a comedian, who can fucking blame me. This is a political topic where political analysts should be analyzing the situation, not a fucking emotional comedian whose only purpose there is to make people laugh, and no one's laughing. So why is he there? Did he pull a camel toe on the guy or girl who arranged this fucking show? Because that's the only reason I see it right here, right now.
And that comedian is a perfect example of the left not learning from their mistakes.
Exactly.
Because they are thinking that they are coming from a moral high ground.
Yeah.
And they think they are on the moral high ground, so they can't possibly fathom that they are wrong about anything.
Yeah, it's called narcissism. Yeah.
That comedian looks like a Pez dispenser at this point.
He's taking a shit right now.
I will defeat you, Spider-Man.
All right, let's finish this one out.
And that's
we did.
That's what
we
it's
did.
about.
We did. And if in the veterans community,
Afghanistan doesn't signal that.
The wars in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, the Republican policies that led to those wars, the idea that Joe Biden made the final difficult decision, and his administration and his military leaders. I mean, you guys live on the tippy top of bullshit mountain. If you actually think that that so many people think that the pullout of Afghanistan was the pivot point. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I can read a chart and I can read a poll. I guess you can't. But the reality is, when he made that decision,
your petty insults are so weak, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even understand if you hear yourself.
Oh my God.
I love it. He just laughs at him.
You can.
Yeah,
he's just laughing at him.
I got him.
That's a screenshot right there, man. That embodies the entirety of America right now.
Goodness me. Has this bastard seen the results of the 2024 election? The narrative this bold bastard is pushing isn't resonating with people. The American people, for the most part, don't believe you.
Yeah. This guy on the right, him, speaking the way he is right now, and expressing himself the way he is right now. This is why the Democrats lost.
Yeah.
So much so, even the Rhino bastard is happy. I mean, the defeat is so resounding that the never Trumper rhinos are smiling right now, and I never thought that would ever happen, considering the fact that they lost control of their own
and
political
honestly,
party.
the rhinos do not, I don't believe, have control of the Republican Party anymore,
No, they
because
don't. No.
they've gotten to the point where the RNC is run by pro-Trump people now.
Yeah.
So
MAGA forever. I seriously, 2028, 2032,
Come on now.
Yeah,
it was really easy to see. The rhinos was coming out endorsing Kamala.
Fucking mad.
Yeah. And
mad.
breaking the swamp was not going to be an easy thing or a quick thing. So the fact that he's influenced basically the RNC to be on his side is a huge win, and you could see the results this election.
So which alphabet agency should we exterminate, folks? First, folks.
They've already
nominate. Let's start small. I nominate the FDA. I mean, before we instantly kill the Fed, let's practice on something first, okay? Like target practice. So FDA, then others, then the Fed.
They've already.
I don't know. First
they've
with
already,
me, Department of Education.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. They've already talked about Department of Education. Each state has their own Department of Education. This federal Department of Education has been nothing but a propaganda wing, pushing shit on the states via funding. Say, hey, take this funding, but you have to push this shit. So, yeah, get rid of Department of Education.
I'd like to get I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's so many redundancies from the top down, from like federal to state, that are obsolete. It just need to be wiped out.
I mean, people need to understand. People need to understand how the original Uniparty came into existence. It was essentially the post-World War II consensus that then evolved as a result of the civil rights struggle in the 80s and has survived in one way, shape, or form ever since. Understanding how things start is a great way of understanding how things can end. And you look at the history of the Federal Reserve and how that came to be. And from that foundation, you can find weak points and then do it in. But I think the most radical thing that Trump can do in office is to stop the invasion, to end the occupation through mass deportations, and to ensure that the economy grows through a reduction of taxation and regulation. And once it's in the bag, once Trump's successor gets into office, whoever he names will be his successor. It'll be a third-term Trump administration. That is the ideal point to just gut these institutions. It may sound and appear like the best idea to do it right here, right now, but the danger is the backlash that comes from it. Because do you think the fucking bureaucracy is just going to lay down and die? No, of course they won't. They will sabotage at every level, including a military level, to allow America's enemies to destroy them.
I think one of the things they could get away with, though, especially if they're going to investigate the three-letter agencies, is I think you can get rid of the Department of Homeland Security because it wasn't needed to begin with.
Yeah,
so I think that might be a good testing ground.
That was a knee-jerk reaction to 9/11.
And there'll be an equally knee-jerk reaction with calls for its abolition. You support terrorists, Patriot Act, lock you up. because that will happen, and the fucking bureaucrats will do that because they will see that perspective as an act of terrorism, because that's how these shadowy people operate. I mean, they've gotten American patriots for less, unfortunately.
So, Ryan, how much more time do you have, buddy?
I think about 5 minutes should wrap things up.
All right. Well, then I'd like to get. I really want to get everyone's opinion on this, most especially Sno and Deej, because we've been on the battle lines talking about this for a long time. But Ryan, let's start with you.
Sure.
What would you think would happen if JD Vance to get in and release the Epstein client list? What would
He better not be doing any fucking rallies in the near future, because they're going to try and shoot him. But in all seriousness, this would be a very good idea. What better way to gain the trust of your loyalists than to say something and actually do it? Even if it's a gigantic witch hunt, at least you've done it. Guilt by association. That's the list. Okay, Trump did meet Epstein once. Oh, we won't include that, though. Because even if all evidence of these lists have been completely removed, as I said earlier with politics, not about the truth. I mean, when was the last time a politician told the truth? It's about narrative. It's about narrative control. And yes, you want to take the best path, the most honest path, but you usually don't get the best out of people through that path. So if they can't find the list, make it fucking up. It's a great way to get rid of people. It's like, Hillary Clinton. More than a fucking prison cell for you, woman. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris for standing in my way. Not Joe Biden. He helped me. Just make it a list, whether it's the Epstein list or the Diddy list, of all the politicians, all the celebrities, all the establishment people that try to fuck me over. And it's like, this is the list. And just like that, all your opposition goes.
Brother, you want to say an outro before you head out?
Well, thank you all very much for watching. Stick around, though, because these guys and this guy, all great people. It was great to see Sno Dub again. Don't worry, Tony, you're welcome on Reality Based anytime. Likewise with everyone who is on this panel. We have an open door, and everyone is welcome. Especially Sno Dub, because it's been a while since we had a good talk. You and your puppet legions, my oh my. I've been trying to connect with VTubers, and I'm sure puppeteering is just a live action version.
It really
of
is. I've been learning a lot with my Alf. Over the last
the more the merrier. So everyone is welcome on Reality Based, and it was great to be on.
Do me a solid there, Ryan. Would you? Next time you hang out with Hypnotic, let him know he needs a little puppet action on his show once in a while.
Oh, absolutely. I may have the least amount of influence on that fucking panel, but my specialty is connecting people together. Unfortunately, folks, Hypno won't be on his own fucking show in half an hour's time, or just over half an hour's time. The signal's so shit, and that's the price you pay for going on holiday, you rich bastard. You rich bastard. So Smash JT is hosting the show. Never thought SNH would have a takeover. It will be on Hypno's channel, but Smash JT will be hosting it. I will be there. Don't know if it's a guest. If Hypno can't make it, then fucking hell, I don't think a guest can either. And we'll have a great talk about topics of the day, and hopefully it goes badly. Do you know why? Because that will give Hypno justification of, yeah, it's my show. You ain't fucking getting rid of me. But it was great to see you all. Go and check out Hypnotic's channel for Saturday Night Hypnosis, but stick around for now, because this is a great panel, great topics, and it's always a pleasure to be here. So I'm just going to dip out now. And hashtag MAGA forever. Hashtag let Dick Cheney join John McCain as soon as possible. Bye for now.
Damn.
Wow. Holy shit.
Good stuff. Somebody in the chat, one of my wrenches, could throw out a link for Hypno's channel. I appreciate that. And next up, Alf, what are your thoughts on this, man? What happens if the Epstein list drops?
Honestly, I say do it. I want chaos. Bring everyone down that's been a part of this nonsense. We're dealing with human trafficking. I don't give a shit if you're an Oscar award-winning actor. You're going down. It's just, this is child's play. We got to make this happen. I've been asking for years for this to happen. And then also the Diddy list. Whoever participated in Diddy's parties. I mean, you saw all the actors that were coming out for Kamala. And they were all connected. A lot of them were connected to Diddy. There's a lot of it just seems a little coincidental. So
it does, doesn't it? We've been fighting these things for years. And excuse me, Tina, I just want to jump to Sno and Deej. We've been fighting these people in the entertainment industry for years, hearing them gaslight us, tell us about ourselves, explain why they have the moral high ground, these privileged millionaires, while pushing, all this political garbage into our entertainments, destroying them. Sno, what would you think would be the fallout if this list was released?
Well, there'd be a lot of denial right away, of course. A lot of people trying to cover their tracks. People that'll probably come up with excuses of, I just visited during, a regular party. I was never there for the sex parties, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of lies. But what will be most important is just like, how Elon Musk is saying that we are now the news. We're taking over. The mainstream media has taken a hell of a blow, and people are turning their heads to other sources like X, like YouTube, like Rumble. And Crowder just killed it the other night on his election stream. I don't know if you guys watch Crowder at all, but man, he had the most people ever watching a stream on Rumble. It was like over 500,000 or something like that. It's just incredible. So things are changing. And so as long as we've got the list and we can talk about it and expose it and pass it around and get the info out there, that's all that matters. Because that type of grassroots peddling of information is exactly why we had the red wave that we did.
Well said. Well said. Deej, what do you think would happen if these lists were released?
All right, I'm going to be more pessimistic on this because I think the politicians on the list are going to take hits. I don't think the Hollywood types are. Just because of Roman Polanski. How many people in Hollywood are still sticking up for him even though he's been convicted of sexual assaults and shit with minors, and
but he
they're still getting work?
He moved to a different country, Deej. That's what he get away from it. Yeah.
But all those in Hollywood still stick up for him, still think that he's innocent and everything else, have not taken a hit in Hollywood.
Well, maybe they'll all move too once it's all released.
That's what I'm thinking, honest to God. Like the bullshitters reinforce their bullshit. Like it's an echo chamber. We know we've been fighting an echo chamber for years. They're going to keep denying. They'll sit in jail, convicted, with facts, and still deny. And that's the length to which these people will go. I have no doubt. Tina, what are your thoughts on this?
I could almost argue that culturally, I think it would be a larger shock for the United States than honestly if we found out that aliens exist. I mean, this is going to be huge. And I'm actually afraid that even just the threat of the list being released will cause there to be some type of assassination against, the president and or the VP or both.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. Tony, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think that whatever happens will happen, and we'll find a reason to cover it and have a good laugh, regardless if it's chaotic or not.
Well said. I mean, just the idea, we've been seeing I've talked in the last few episodes about the P. Diddy parties, and I'm going to keep covering that incrementally. Just took a little bit of a break last couple of weeks from that.
Well, we know you took a break from it because you've been hand counting that big pile of dildos.
I'm on none of those tapes, and I have none of those dildos, and no baby oil. There's no baby oil in this house. But Alf brought up a good point. Just to segue so that I can look for the next segment. That we saw a lot of the people that have been whispered about in those P. Diddy tapes, out there for Kamala, people like Beyonce, that have been speaking on behalf of America. You should vote this way. For me, the way I see it, it would be a cultural shock. Absolutely. Like Tina was bringing up, it would be a culture shock to a lot of people. There's still people out there that don't understand what Tom Hanks is. They're just in denial. So what do you think, like the overall for the fabric of the culture of this, for the cultural fabric of this country, guys, what do you think the shock of the P. Diddy releases is going to do just to your everyday household? Ignorant household doesn't pay attention to anything, politics or anything. They just watch movies and go to work and do their thing. Any thoughts?
Careers will be ruined for sure. Like anybody that's like even relevant at this point in time, their album sales will tank. They'll become like a leper. They just nobody will want anything to do with them anymore. So you won't be able to see them performing on award shows or crap like that. They'll basically get MC hammered.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: Tom Cruise is not sounding as crazy as he did 20 years ago.
Very true. And did you notice that Tom Hanks already fled the country?
Did he?
Yes, he posted on so.
I don't know if that's a real posting or not. I've had takes
really?
on both
Okay.
sides of it. It's not completely confirmed if he's taken off yet or not.
So,
but all you got to do is go back and watch Ricky Gervais at that Oscars when he brought up the flight list and stuff, and look at the reactions, especially of Tom Hanks, and you know which ones are uncomfortable in that audience.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that fallout. Cat Williams, he came out earlier in the year and said all lies will be exposed, and we've been seeing it. What makes me the reason? Look, I've been doing this different content for the last couple of years, so I take a look at like pathological liars, and one thing that I've noticed is that they will reinforce their lies. They will keep lying for each other, trying to protect each other, because it's hard to even imagine this, y'all. But when you are someone like these peddlers are, they know that they're doing wrong. They know that what they're doing is evil and hurtful and harmful. And at the same time, think that they are blessed by God. They think that they can do no wrong. They have everything they do is right and just. And that's the type of attitude we're going to be seeing from these actors, these singers, everyone who's involved with this trafficking, everyone who's involved with every essay. That's the attitude we're going to have. It's going to be a down to the ground fight. And it is going to be very important that we have spaces like X, and any other that follow when it comes to freedom of information or freedom of speech, to stand up and make your voice heard, because this is something that goes not just in this political sphere, but I think in corporate, music industry, news. When you have a group of people that are trying to cover up each other's lies, they will go to any length whatsoever to maintain that false face. So this is going to be a big fight. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Walton, I've got a question I want to ask, if you don't mind me asking it.
Sure, buddy.
To the panel here. So let's just say hypothetically the list gets released and a bunch of Oscar award-winning actors are on the list and proven that they were there. Would this prevent you from watching any of those people's movies from the past?
I already have been.
Absolutely. I have not watched a Tom Cruise movie since he went after Brooke Shields and a bunch of other women who needed prescription medication after due to recovering from their postpartum depression. I haven't watched a single interview he's ever been on. If he were ever to host SNL, which I still watch because I'm just ripe for abuse on a weekly basis. But I won't have nothing to do with that man. I don't care if he ever apologized. I don't care if the women forgave him for the slight. Never forgave.
Some of my favorite movies had Tom Hanks in them. Don't watch them anymore. So I've enjoyed. I can't listen to. I like gangster rap, like I like heavy metal. Not as much, but it's a part of my my youth. I don't listen to Jay-Z. I don't listen to anything. I can't even listen to Biggie, because of the Puff Association. So yeah, I mean, I'm just cut it out of my life.
I've cut a lot out. Like I can't even watch Stephen King movies anymore because of how nuts that freak has got.
I'll be honest. I'm going to be, I guess, the outsider on this panel. I think I can still watch movies from actors, even if I find out they did terrible things, because still I can separate the movie from the dastardly things they did in their personal life. But that's just personally me. So
I agree with Alf on that one. Mine's a little bit more, skewed towards. It depends on what type of movie it is, and if it correlates with whatever deed that they did, that would go against that film. Like it's
I totally agree.
There's a basis of comparison, and
Like, what if you find out they're on the client list and they give time frames?
Well,
I
can't say that I could support them anymore because I won't. But if I have something that I already own that they're a part of, and I feel like watching that film, I will. But going forward, obviously,
it's like Saving Private Ryan is an example for me.
Yeah.
As a veteran, I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. So even if he is on the list, I'm still going to enjoy that movie. But I have no respect for the man himself. So
I think Snow and I have had this discussion so many times because we both love Star Wars. We both love Luke Skywalker and the Skywalker saga. So Snow,
Mark Hamill,
go ahead, speak on it, bro.
Mark Hamill's a piece of shit, but I can still go back and watch Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, these things are connected to our childhood in a lot of us. So, I mean, I still have no problem with my son going and sitting down and watching Star Wars if he wants to, or the old Marvel movies, because they're still great films and enjoyable to watch. I mean, his favorite character was Chris Evans, Captain America growing up. And I never tried to persuade him that, he's a piece of shit. Right. I never put that into his head.
Because the character itself.
Yeah. But, he made up his own mind because when Captain America died and they did the old race switch with Falcon, now he has no interest, and he's totally turned off on Marvel now. Of course, with the injection of strong female leads in Marvel as well. It's just to a young, preteen, early teenage boy. It's like stuffing garlic in his mouth. So.
All right. Well, we'll see moving forward. If anybody's opinion changed, thank you guys for being honest and your assessments and your feelings on that. That's because it's important. It's going to be a rough road if these lists get out, the P. Diddy lists and all. If we actually get this information, it's going to be difficult for all of us to some degree. Now on to some positive news. We're going to go over this clip from Donald Trump. And, the awakening is coming.
His policy outline, yes.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end.
We live in a world.
Leadership, there will be no more fucking clown shoes.
Yeah. We live in a world where someone had to fight to get back in office so that adults could tell the fucking grown toddlers what reality is and to stop hurting children. It's insane to me. It's insane. Listen, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I remember a couple of years ago, they were gaslighting us when we'd say, oh, they're doing procedures on minor children. They're like, oh, no, they're not. They're not allowed to. And then evidence started coming out, it's rolling out. And I was like, it was happening. Kids were getting surgeries done on them. Children under the age of consent are getting surgeries done. And then you have these parents that, and this needs to be attacked next, is parents that entertain this shit. The ones that push it. They are wearing their kids on their shoulder like a purse puppy.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say the same exact words. It's beautiful.
I mean, it's Tina, like, as a mother, could you, I mean, I know your children are older, but like, how would that have, raising them in this era, I know it's affected you to some degree and you've had to have these discussions with your children. Like, how terrifying is it to know that they're under the radical left, schools and caretakers were being told that it was okay to tell your child that they're not what they are?
I mean, I honestly can't believe it. I mean, my younger son was negatively impacted by a vaccine he received before kindergarten and that same booster before 6th grade. So we went through a lot of not only medical situations with him, it also made him a very anxious young man. When you're not allowed to rollerblade with your friends, you can't play baseball, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you might freaking die. And so obviously that has an effect to mental health. And then my youngest son has dyslexia, and he also has a disorder on the autism spectrum that makes him unable to pick up on nonverbal cues about emotions. So he couldn't tell if somebody was mad at him or if somebody was about to cry until he physically saw tears. He just, that was a behavior that had to be learned. So both of them spent a lot of time with mental health providers. And I never once thought oh my God, could they be turning my child against me or having them, invent an issue that didn't exist? But I also told the kids that, hey, you can come home and you can tell me anything. So if God forbid they felt like they were in the wrong body, we could have that conversation. And what scares me now is my son, the one with the blood disorder, he could have felt that he didn't belong in the right body because his body was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So if he would have said anything like, I don't feel like I belong in my body to a teacher now, can you imagine the mental gymnastics they would have had him go through? And all of a sudden he would come home thinking he should be a girl when all he was meant to say is, I'm mad that my body won't let me do these things a typical, 12-year-old should be able to do. And that scares me. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have grandchildren, but my God, they need to be in a country that is very different than the way we are now.
Stark, I heard you clapping a lot, man. How do you feel about what was just said?
Oh, I've thought I saw like the whole video of these outlines. See, this is just one part of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got so many good ideas. And it's good to return to form, to escape the insanity. All right. I have 2 nieces and nephew, and now I can comfortably say that they're going to be safer as they go from middle school to high school. Like, it's
Well, it's still going to be a fight because we got all these governors. All these governors out there saying they're not going to follow whatever he says.
Well, I'm in Kentucky, and while we are a red state, I mean, we do suffer Bashir. So, I mean, we're going to have some trouble, but we're going to do our best. I mean, this is just what we need. This is common sense. That one creature from earlier referencing common sense and comparing it to insanity is as laughable as how awesome Trump's policies are for common sense. Like, it's such a bipolar black and white. It's an antithesis of one another. It's like you have actual common sense versus people purporting their preposterousness as common sense. This dude stared down the barrel of a weapon to get back into office. They tried to take him out. I was in Tennessee hanging out with Nick from Echo Base, Gary Ambrosia, and Robert Wright from Pop.
Hail, Nick.
When that happened, I was getting them drinks. I went to, because I brought a bottle of bourbon. And I figured, well, why blow money at the bar? I got liquor right here. So I got some cups of ice and was just going to share with the guys. And Nick in real time said, they just shot Trump. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. And at first I thought he was joking on the 13th, June 13th. Or July 13th. So this is going to be a fight. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be an arduous one. But I still guarantee you $1 to a donut that about 2 years from now, all of these freak out videos that we're seeing, all of the tears that we need to build an arc just to sail over are going to be gone. There's going to be people complaining. There's going to be people going, oh my God, my life is over. The world's spinning on. The world's going to spin on. You people are victims of this propaganda, and that is what has created this insanity. You're still going to get up and you're going to go to work. You're going to get cleaned up. You're going to go to work. You're going to have your lunch break. You're going to drive home. Whatever family unit you're a part of, you're going to be just as it was. And these people are so programmed that I see just deadpan faces whenever they're turning on their cameras and then leaning back. Then they take a deep breath to shake themselves into character and go, no! Oh my God, it's over! Oh, Patrick! Oh, it'll be okay, SpongeBob! It's over! No, it's not. It'll be fine. Y'all are going to be fine. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, just give it time. They just need time to realize the world's not ending.
It's not ending. They're what they've been built up to believe is the fantasy that they've been fed, that they've co-signed to. And go ahead.
That's a tough thing for anyone to encounter, is a total upturning of your entire belief system. A lot of people react in different ways, and it's usually pretty dramatic. But when someone's entire belief system is confronted or upended, they react in very volatile ways in many times.
Yes.
So when you confront everything they base their entire way that they believe, they're gonna react very badly. You know, they're gonna they think their world is coming to an end because everything they believed in is being shoved in their face as being false.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a difficult thing for anyone who has to break that fog of cognitive dissonance. You know, people who go through traumatic experiences do that to themselves. You know, I've done that. You know, with early childhood trauma. You build up this world, this fantasy that exists. You create responses. You create modes of thinking to self-sabotage or to deflect away from the reality of the situation, all to avoid the truth that you're being told or you're seeing or that you're feeling. And a lot of people are going to have to face that and break it. And like, we're going to need honest to God therapists, the good therapists and mental health professionals more now than ever to unscrew a lot of the gaslighting and a lot of the conflagration that has happened through our media into people, you know, just completely disassociating them from reality. I mean, like we were just talking about
that, though.
Go ahead, brother.
You got a problem with that because you still got the media pushing all the gaslighting. You still got these politicians pushing the gaslighting. You still got all these idiots on social medias everywhere pushing the gaslighting. It's going to take a hell of a long time because they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up.
It will. So one last segment before we roll out, because everybody's got streams to get on. And thank you to Horney Alf for being here. He's got a stream later. Sno Dub's got his show later. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. So let's talk about one more good thing. All the effects that Trump has had on the world since he was elected. Already, and not even in office.
Donald Trump's not even president yet. Have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey, America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs. He sent Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton into depression. Because of all of this amazing news, white, liberal, ugly women are now refusing to have sex with men. America is...
that meme is hilarious. I've seen that on Twitter. Or X.
Is that the basket case creature?
Yeah.
They put that on.
If you voted for Trump, I refuse to have sex with you.
I think it's from
they put the glasses in the pink hair. That's great.
I think it's from that low budget movie Ghoulies, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's from Ghoulies, yeah.
Oh, it's Ghoulies. No, there's like a basket
perfect.
case has a similar like creature.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Snow, what do you think of the world reaction that's happening when a real man with balls steps into the White House, or is about to?
Well, you know, it's going to go right back to what it was. And Trump, he campaigned on this. He campaigned on the fact that he had no new wars while he was in office.
Yeah.
And that's because he kept these mofos in fear. Like they didn't know what he would do. And there's even stories out there where he straight up threatened people, where he was just like, you either do this or I'm going to kill you. You know, he was talking to terrorists and people like that, you know, and he just straight up, you know, he's like, I'm not going to play around with you. And once that word got around, that was pretty much it with these world leaders. They're like, yeah, they got a pretty
wasn't
good
it one
military.
of the Taliban or something? He slid over the picture of the guy's house.
Yes.
And said, I know where you are.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly what he did. Yep.
He said you got a pretty nice house there. It would be a shame if somebody, you know, turned it into a parking lot.
Exactly. I just wanted to add to the story of the day he was shot. Funny thing is me and my son were actually at a con for horror movies, and he'd been waiting for years to meet Kane Hodder, the guy who played Jason and most of the Friday the 13th movies.
Nice.
So we were literally in line to go meet him, and as we walked up to him, he's like getting off the phone, and he's like, Trump just got shot. So I got to find out.
Oh my God, you got your news. Oh,
I got my news from Jason Voorhees himself.
Oh,
wow. What a
Wow.
moment that was. And then I went over and talked to the Hockey Talk man and, you know, a couple other people about it. You know, it was like the hot topic going around the con at that point. So it was wild. But you'd be surprised. There's still a lot of celebrities that are Trump supporters. They just don't talk about it.
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the wrestlers aren't very based.
Yeah.
No, I know Slaughter is.
I'd say most of them are.
And look at the Undertaker. Didn't he have Trump on or something?
Yeah, he had him on his podcast. Him and Kane both came out for Trump. Hulk Hogan, of course, came out for Trump. And even The Rock said a few things that kind of lean towards the support of Trump. If there's a couple interviews out there where he was like, where it was the fact that he got shot turned a lot of people, you know, and the way he reacted to it turned a lot of people towards like, okay, we need him back in office because that's a man right there that isn't scared, you know, that is going to stand up and fight no matter what. Batista. And we need that kind of leadership in this country.
I was going to say that Cotton Batista went full soy, though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, he started taking estrogen pills. So
pearls before swine, literally.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun. We're probably going to be highlighting this at least in one segment every week before he takes office, and pointing out all of this is a win. I rarely feel this big about an election, but this to me was good versus evil. It was, you know, us needing a win against those who abuse us, use us, traffic kids, don't care about illegals, don't care about our communities, don't care about how much money we got to pay on our bills. They don't care about us. The ingrained political system that we have does not only do they not care about us, I think they get off on making us depressed, on feeding off us like energy vampires, a bunch of bloodsuckers. So to me, this election meant a lot, and I'm happy that it went the way that it did. It was so important. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. Thank you so much. Please make sure to hit that like button or dislike if you're a flying monkey or a narcissist lurking. I like you too, Boo. And please leave a comment afterwards. Let us know what your favorite topic was. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to be covered on Rogue next week, greatly appreciate that. So I'm going to allow everyone to have an outro. First with our guests, Horney Alf. Tell them where they can find you and what you got going on, my brother.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been a while. We got to do this more often. I don't get to stream very often with most of the people on this panel, but you guys are a bunch of great. This is a great panel. So everyone sub to everyone here. As far as myself, I am Horney Alf. You can check out my channel. I do mostly gaming content. In fact, at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're me and I don't know if you guys know Dermy Wormy, but I'm going to be playing with Dermy Wormy and a bunch of the people from the Ballbusters crew, because every Friday night I'm on his show, Ballbusters, where it's very degenerate and we talk about crazy stuff. But we're going to be playing Starship Troopers, the game, Starship Troopers Extermination. That fucking game is amazing. It feels you're in the. It feels like you're in the movie, in that big battle scene fighting the bugs. It's amazing. So we're going to be playing that at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come check it out. Tomorrow night, might be playing a Party Animals stream, which is a pretty ridiculous game. But other than that, go check out my stuff. Thank you.
All right, brother. Alf, I'm going to add you to the Rogue chat, brother. All right, so you're welcome to come on any week. Awesome. Next up is my trans fat brother, my homie that has been here with me since the very beginning. One of my first friends to ever stream with, hang out with, to help support. He's my brother, guys. Please make sure you subscribe to Sno Dub Music and Entertainment. Snow, tell them where they can find you, brother.
Oh, the Sno Dub channel. It's pretty easy, and we got the most funniest, hilarious puppet show on the internet. It's every Saturday night called the Cotton Council, where a bunch of like-minded puppets come on together and hash it out. It gets a little chaotic, but guarantee you'll get a few laughs. And so if you ain't got nothing to do tonight, come swing by. It's going down in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. So should be a good show tonight. I'm actually been dual working here. I've been hanging out on the stream with you guys while I'm working on a brand new booty break that's going to premiere tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, I hope these booties. I hope
Is
these
it gonna
booties
be
at
the-
least eat a cheeseburger.
Is it going to be the Zenith booty break? Is it going to be like the top of the hour one?
It's tape break part 2.
Oh man.
Yep. And
guys,
it's been an honor to hang out with these awesome peeps here on the panel, especially you, Horny Alf. We met briefly in Dallas, Dallas meetup about a little over a year ago.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember that. It was.
Yeah.
It was not the last Dallas meetup, the one before that, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the restaurant one
Yeah,
where it was packed and it was hard to get around in there.
Because I know I hung out at the comics division content house that they had.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I got my poster and got it all signed by all the boys, except for Tom. It was sad that Tom couldn't come, but good time.
Yeah, you need to have all the dicks. All right, it's good to see you, Snow, guys. Please make sure to subscribe to Snow. And next up is the wonderful, the talented, the crazy Tony Stark.
Oh, hey.
Oh, that's the Alf house.
As you can see, well,
Tanners.
We have a holodeck here at Stark Tower, and my roommate Alf, not to be confused with Horny Alf, who has a lot better hair than my Alf, is part of the said Cotton Council, which will be here in an hour and 15 minutes from now. So if you want a bunch of washed up 80s jokes and cat eating humor, then swing on over there. And Mexican Iron Man, we love you. Please don't ever think that my Alf is out to get you. He's going through a crisis right now where I thought that him and El Perro were going to be best friends. But if you guys don't know that story, check out the one that we just had last night for Friday, and you'll get the whole scoop of what's going to happen tonight.
Jolly's a little upset because you keep tell Alf to stop eating pussy on our show. We're gonna
tell the pussy to stop going towards grabbing range, and maybe we'll talk. But other than that, I will be also having a show tomorrow, Sunday, where I'll be talking about the discography of Megadeth. We'll be going from album to album with Robert Wright of Pop Culture Breakdown fame, Heather L., which is a well-renowned wrench in Doomcock's chat, Agent Pepsi 1, and Fet for Hire, the Shredalicious master of masters himself.
Nice.
And later on tonight, after the Cotton Council, as I do probably have to have Alf dip out a little bit early, I will be hanging on with Anti-Derivative Jill and Scotty R37 as we commentate and have a few drinks while she haphazardly bumble dicks around play through a Fallout 1. And that's
awesome.
That's the daily on the 8th.
That's beautiful, Stark. Thank you so much for being here. And guys, please go check that out. Next up is the Pink Bunny himself, DJ Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm back too. I'm out of the fields finally. We did that drunken stream on election night. 9 whole hours I survived while drinking nothing but Fireball. I will be back to doing 7 Days to Die game streams here soon. And I want to say I am absolutely proud of the entire panel, including Ryan, that we made it through 2 hours without any pagan jokes, coffee enemas, or tree sex.
Son of a bitch! I'm pagan man. Next up is Bad Take Tina Bojan.
Hey everybody, I'm glad you or I'm hoping that you enjoyed tonight's stream as much as we did here on the panel, because it was a blast and we're looking forward to a beautiful future come January. If you're looking for things spooky and weird and out of the ordinary, Sporky News Podcast is going to do a special Monday edition of Aluminum Sport because he wasn't able to stream tonight. And then on Tuesdays, we're always on his channel for a Spork of Ice and Fire, which we are currently reading the prologue and epilogue for all of the Song of Ice and Fire books and discussing any impacts on future plots. And we're always talking about how we think the series is going to end, because even though we're still dreaming for those last 2 books, I think that the Lord will take George R.R. Martin before the books are done.
I think that's George R.R. Martin's intent, though, Tina.
I think you are correct.
I don't think he wants to finish them.
Thank you, Tina, for being. Thank you very much, Tina, for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Please make sure to support your independent creators out there, whether they're making comics or they're building channels. We don't have an industry to support us. We only have each other. Make sure to subscribe to everybody on this panel. All great people, all wonderful people here at Rogue, and I greatly appreciate you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this ride. I am Lodonis Ravenwolf Dragonstorm, Seer and Sage. Hail to my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Please remember to wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. Hail trans fat.
You gotta have a big mouth to swallow the frog.
It's more than just sandwiches. It's more than just the chips. It's more than just being fresh.
Look, I've got no problem putting my seed in brie. I mean, quite frankly, I think she's hot.
Rookie critic, my buddy in the fandom collect. I know you're bouncing me and Gaze being a stream whore today. Like
they wanted to see if you guys are sucking dick or not.
I don't think I can say that D word.
The last woman that gave me an attitude, I cut her face off and wore her in a condom.
She'll be alright, man.
She will bear me a child, and my spawn will grow to conquer the world.
What's up?
I am defined by my friends and my dog. Glory to the trans fat chat. Glory, trans fat chat.